Welcome back to the Road Show. This morning, The Buzz is Rhode Island's economy on the upswing. Earlier this month, the governor's office announced that the state actually finished the fiscal year of 2010 with, believe it or not, a huge surplus. $17.7 million for the state's general fund. Governor Dogdashiri credited 35 different state agencies for saving money, cutting back on building maintenance, utilities, and a lot of jobs were left unfilled, though, too. It is also, this was some good news we got this morning, the 6th straight month that unemployment has gone down, as the Rhode Island Department of Labor and Training announced overnight. Now we're down to 11.8% unemployment. That is still really high. It's still above the national average, but it is the lowest jobless rate that we've seen in a year. So the question is, you know, given all of that, is the state's financial health getting better overall? And I think even a bigger question is, do you think that residents have the perception that things are getting better?
I think just the fact that we're getting more jobs and people are starting to, you know, the unemployed are starting to get back into the workforce is a huge step forward. We still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those numbers show that we have a long way to go, but it's a step in the right direction. And when the economy hits an all-time low like it has here, especially in Rhode Island, you know, it's baby steps to getting back to where we need to be.
Yeah, there's never going to be a magic bullet.
Yeah.
What do you think, Patrick?
Well, it obviously doesn't take much for it to go that way, but it takes a long time. It's like a batting average in baseball. It takes a long time to get it back up. It doesn't take a long time to go down, kind of like my grade point average in college. But, you know, the thing that I'm confused about, and I'm glad I'm not the one that's making these decisions, is you talk about, like, oh, everyone's saving money, and there's a surplus. Well, a lot of times there's a reason there's a surplus and they're saving money, and you just said it is because jobs aren't being filled or people are losing their jobs, which I would assume contributes to the unemployment rate. Like, I was reading an article in the, I think it was the Barrington Times yesterday, that the town just privatized their garbage pickup, and it's like, hey, the town's going to save $500,000 a year because they have a private company picking up their trash, but 8 people at the Department of Transportation lost their job. Yeah. So you wonder, like, well, does that defeat the purpose?
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like the tug of war. I don't know. I mean, it's
steal from Paul to pay Peter.
Well,
is that saying? I messed that up.
Yeah, but
you know
what?
Peter to pay Paul, right?
But you're right, and I think. But if there is a way, you know, the mayor of Cranston, I think Alan Fung, had the idea of taking out or turning off every other street light. Now, people were not comfortable with that, and so they let him know, and he reversed that. But if there are ways where you can, you know, steal a light bulb here, you know, turn off your computer at night there, and kind of add up all these pennies so that they end up in a surplus where you can then take that money and reinvest it into jobs creation. You know, I think that's a good thing. And hopefully when you know, it's just like you say, I'm glad I'm not the one who's making this decision. But if it means that over here 2 people lose their jobs, but in the private sector 4 more people can be hired, maybe even those people who work in government can then take those jobs. I don't know, but job creation really is
that's a great example, though, with talking about what Alan Fung tried to do. I mean, it seems like just pennies, you know, taking out a couple of light bulbs, but this is what it's come to.
Now,
I mean, you know, it's literally come to this where, you know, $100,000, which doesn't seem like a lot in terms of a city's overall budget, you know, can start to make a difference.
The thing that bugs me the most, and I know I can relate to a lot of people, is when you look at your paycheck and you look at all the money that's taken out because of taxes. If I had more money, I would spend more money.
Yeah.
And that seems to me to be, you know, we're not going to raise taxes, we're not going to raise taxes. Well, then, you know, you go to your home and your assessment is through the roof, and your home taxes go up in your city or town. You know, you get a one-time sewer assessment for $500, just randomly pops up on your tax bill this year for me. It's like, you know, if I had more money in my pocket, you want me to stimulate the economy? I'd be glad to stimulate your economy. Just stop taking so much money from me every 2 weeks, and I'm on board. I'll spend it all, you know?
I tell you what, I'm very interested to hear what our viewers are saying this morning, and Melissa Sardelli is talking with them this morning. Hey, Mel.
Hey, I have to say everyone has a lot of great things to say this morning on the blog and as well as Facebook, and I have to say I'm kind of excited to see what all the new politicians are going to do once they get into office. So hopefully there can be some great changes and new things on the horizon. But I'm here in the New England Tech Center, live blogging on foxprovidence.com. Let's see what all of our friends have to say this morning. Joseph Butera says, I do see a slight improvement, but don't let those unemployment numbers fool you into thinking everything is okay. There's still a lot of progress to be made in the Ocean State. And Smokey Wolf says, okay, they say the unemployment rate has dropped, and I think it's because so many of us have been kicked off because we can't collect anymore. And don't forget, wait until November. The seasonal jobs will be ending. Good point, Smokey. And Lisa says, I think it's improving. It's looking better. So things are getting better, little by little. In today's web poll, we're asking, do you think the Ocean State is on its way to economic recovery? Your choices are A, yes, unemployment is down and jobs are up, or B, no, our state is still in the dumps. And as always, our friends on Facebook are weighing in this morning about today's buzz topic. Luis Santiago says, I'm happy to hear that. Now, can we please repair the roads, especially along 146 North and South? My car is taking a beating. They are working on that, Luis. And Donna writes, the economy is recovering very slowly. Jobs are still extremely scarce with all the layoffs and cutbacks and raising taxes. How could they not end on a surplus? And don't go anywhere. I'll be back at the end of the show with your web poll results. And Patrick